you guys are doing great today. Hey, we're going to do a new lesson, something a little bit different on secondary dominants. If you guys don't know what those are, they are a way to spice up what would be normally a boring progression and make it more lively and give it some spice and sauce together with it. So I'm going to show you guys a hack, trick, whatever you want to call it. It's basically a pattern to find the secondary dominants when you're playing in a major key or a minor key. Coming up, we're going to check it out. We'll see you guys in here in a second. Thanks so much. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we make put secondary dominants into chord progression to make them sound better? So let's just take a normal chord progression. The key is G, so we're just going to do a 1, 6, 4, 5. So that would normally be right here. So we would do G, E minor, C, and then D. Okay, so we want to spice it up. So by definition, a secondary dominant chord is an altered chord having a dominant or leading tone relationship to a chord in the key other than the tonic. So basically what that means is we are wanting to resolve back to the key of G, but we're just momentarily going out of the key to make it more interesting. Still in the key of G, but we're leading to another tonality. So in this case, in our chord progression, we've got G, E minor, C, and D. So 1, 6, 4, 5 is what we're trying to work with. So let's see if we can make it a little more interesting. And I'm actually going to be playing this up a little bit higher up here on the register, because this is where what I'm calling the hack or trick pattern that we're going to use. Once we play through this, I'll show you the next one. You guys will understand why you can move it all over the neck. So here we go. So we're going to play the first chord. It's going to be G, the G right here. And in the bass is a G right here. So that'd be the 1 chord. So to not get too far off, let's go ahead and figure out the rest of these chords. So key of G, the next chord is E minor, so that would be 6, the 6th chord, but we want to get to a dominant 7th chord, and the way to get to a dominant 7th chord is to play the 5 chord of the key of E minor. I know it's a little confusing, but just stick with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to count up. So if we've got G and then the 6 is E minor, we're going to do E minor, F sharp, G, A minor, B. So B is our 5th chord. In this case, we're wanting to make them all dominant 7th chords, so we're going to turn into a B7. So essentially then our chord progression turns into G, B7, and then E minor. You can already hear how awesome that sounds. Okay, so let's keep going. So that would be called the 5 of 6 because it's the 5th chord of the 6th chord in the key of E minor. A little confusing, like I said, but just bear with me. This is how this works. So the next one would be our 4 chord in the key of G, which is actually C. So let's do the same thing. We've got this key of C. Let's count, just count up the alphabet. So C, D, E, F, G, right? So G's the 5. So G, we actually need to make it another dominant 7th chord, so we turn it into a G7, right? Okay, so at that point, this is what we have. So we've got the G, B7, E minor, and then G7's right here, and then C's right below it. Okay, so you can hear we're at the C, but it needs to go somewhere, right? So what we do is we resolve back to the 1 chord, which is G. Because if you just leave it hanging there, it sounds crazy and they'll lose their mind because it just doesn't resolve, and it, like I said, it doesn't sound good. Okay, So let's do the 5 of 5. So what would be the 5 of 5? So the last chord in the progression, remember 1, 6, 4, 5 in the key of G is actually would be D, right? So we still have to make it a 7th chord because of the way this works. So let's count up. So D, E, F, G, A. A is the 5. What do we do with the A? We make it into a dominant 7th chord, and we get an A7. And then we resolve to the D7. Okay, so let's play it all together here so that kind of makes sense. So we've got G, B7, E minor, G7, C, G, A7, D7, and then resolve back to the G. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to put the notes that I have on the screen here so you guys can kind of see that. And it's got, it highlights what is the note that you need to go to. Remember, anything that you're making a secondary dominant chord, you have to make it a 7th chord for it to resolve correctly. Because remember, we're always pulling, we're going somewhere and then we're resolving to the tonic of a chord, so it doesn't sound messed up and static. So again, we're going to play it again here real quick. Before we go to that, let's go back and just play what it normally would sound like. So we've got just G, E minor, C, D. Sounds like a normal pop song or any other country song. But if we jazz it up and make it more bluesy, we've got something like this. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that is not too confusing because I know it's a mouthful. What I would recommend you guys go back several times and watch this and study over the notes, and then you guys will get the hang of it. So here's the hack or the trick of it all. So that was basically a pattern, right? So we're just playing a pattern on the neck, on the fretboard. So what we're going to do is actually transpose, and I'm not going to go through it all because I'm just going to play it, so you guys don't have to go through the whole process. But if you take this formula that I've got here on the screen, you can literally plug these in and you can play them anywhere, up and down the fretboard, and it sounds awesome. Any key will work. So we're going to play in the key of F, right? So here was the G. So let's just move down right here because this is an F note. Now we're in the key of F, right? So let's play the same thing. So F, A7, D minor, F7, and then B flat, F, G7, and then C7. Okay, so that's it. So go over those. Now we're going to play it with the backing track. We're going to play this in the key of G just so you guys can get the feel for this. And then I'm going to play a little bit over the top of it just to show you what the potential is that you guys can play with this. So, alright everybody, here we go. Let's play through this. We're going to play through the chords. We'll do some variations, and then we'll play a couple solos to hear what that sounds like. enjoyed that lesson today. I hope you guys learned something from it. I encourage you to take all of those chords, and literally with this pattern that I just showed you guys, you can apply it up and down the neck, and you can play some really cool chord progressions from it. So have fun with it. We'll see you guys next time. And also, if you haven't already liked and subscribed, I really appreciate it. Until next time, check out a couple of videos here that we did recently that will show you guys some cool stuff on the blues. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.